Well, we were working on the ones, we finished early. We got through
33.3.
Yeah.
We got through all of them, right?
Because that was the end when I was like, oh, does this mean we're done with uniform grievance?
Yeah, now we're into uniform grievance. Okay. So the uniform grievance policy.
And we got all the way down to, I think.
Well, you
highlighted.
took the admin one off. That was up here.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you didn't want to.
No, I understand that, but we had worked through this going side by side. So that, it's just, no,
Okay.
nothing's done wrong. I just, when we keep changing things, and from, I mean, what we did here, well, so we'll just start at the top and we'll go all the way through it then. Cause the blue language is Megan's, and I don't remember where. Okay, so let's go back just to the top and read through it. So uniform grievance policy is the Board of Trustees' board's desire that grievances, complaints, and concerns, or grievance, from all persons be an orderly process within which solutions may be pursued. The process should provide prompt and equitable resolution at the lowest possible administrative level, and provide an opportunity for orderly presentation and review of a grievance without fear of reprisal. If an individual believes that their rights have been violated, as guaranteed by state or federal constitutions, state or federal statutes, or board policy, then the following process should be applied. This policy does not apply to personnel and student grievances, as those matters may result in due process hearings and decisions before the board. Nor does this process supersede any other policy or process addressing a more specific type of grievance. If a grievance is filed, it will be addressed promptly and equitably. The right of a person to a resolution of the grievance filed shall not be impaired by the person's pursuit of other remedies. Use of this process does not extend any filing deadline related to any other remedies. Process. Step 1. An individual with a grievance will first discuss it with the staff member involved with the objective of resolving the matter promptly. An exception is that complaints of sexual harassment should be discussed with the building administrator that is not involved in the alleged harassment.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Because you have informally crossed out there, and that's great, because yeah, it shouldn't be a part of this policy, but I just want to let you know that before there's ever a formal grievance, we try to do it informally and resolve it that way. And typically, I mean, trust me, I haven't had hardly any formal grievances. I've probably had a couple of them, and I think you probably know which ones they are.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, over the years, we do get things resolved informally
Before you move forward.
Yeah, before we ever get to this point, and we work that through the chain of command. And I do have some language maybe for the form, might not be for the policy regarding informal, but
I guess I'm not, actually it was an administrative recommendation to line out informal and move to step 1. But the grievance, if someone's got a beef with someone, basically they're supposed to go talk to that person.
right.
And then if that doesn't work, then we go to step 2, and if that doesn't work, step 3, step 4. But then the exception in this whole matter is if it is sexual harassment,
Right.
then that goes down a different pathway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, and that's fine that informally is struck out there. I just have some other language for the form that addresses, like, it just basically asks, what actions were taken informally that did not resolve, that led to basically a formal grievance, that type of thing. So,
Okay.
and I'll read you that language when we get to the form.
Well, and I'm just curious if we even have to have informal or formal, because it's a grievance. And so the grievance, I mean, whether you're on step 1 or step 4, it's just a grievance. So I don't know maybe if we even have to classify it as informal or formal, because it's a process.
Right.
So I don't know, but let's go on to step 2 and
Okay.
see what it says. If a grievance is not resolved at step 1 with the staff member involved, the individual should complete policy 4120F grievance form and provide the form to building administration, meaning principal or department supervisor, for assistance in resolving the grievance. The building administration shall investigate and attempt to resolve the grievance. The building administration will provide their written decision to the individual included on the grievance form. The written decision will be provided within 15 working days of the building administration's receipt of the grievance. If either party is not satisfied with the building administration's decision, the grievance may advance to step 3 by requesting the superintendent review the building administration's decision on the grievance form. This request must be signed, dated, and submitted to the superintendent within 5 working days of receiving the building administration's decision on the grievance form with the remedy requested. Okay, so let me bring you up to speed. Because I don't think you were here when we were doing this.
Okay.
Basically, when we went through this whole thing, and then we were like, then we come down into this whole written, which then became the formal, which is, we're trying to, I guess, step everything back to the fact that we have this form. And regardless of where, I guess you want to classify it as formal or informal, is irrelevant. If there is a problem, put it in writing so we have a paper trail. So it's holding everyone accountable to the fact that if you're going to go talk to someone and you don't feel that that conversation went the way you wanted it to go to,
Right.
then you're going to fill out this form.
Right.
And then that form is going to follow your case to the end. Because then if it's staff member with staff member, then there's a paper trail for their records. If it's parent against staff member, then there's a paper trail with a student file and with the employee, so that there is trackability. And maybe there is a concern with a staff member and we don't know that, because if everybody's just slinging words around and nobody's putting pen to paper, there's nothing to support anything. So that's where, right, Tanya, that's where,
Yes.
because we were looking at all these words and we're like, but when does someone know they have to fill out the form, and when this and that and
that's
the other?
usually after that step 1. That step 1 is
Mhm.
usually the informal process. That's why it says informally on that step 1.
Mhm.
Step 1 is informal. After that, you're not getting anywhere that you need to go, then you're going more formal and you're starting at step 2. And that's where the clock starts
Mhm.
ticking and the timeline and everything comes in. So really that step 1 should be informal.
Well, when it was brought to the committee, it was struck through. So I don't.
And that's what was named level 1 informal.
Right. So what if? Okay. So how about we do this? Help me with words. Basically, we're just letting them know the step 1 is an informal process, that it's just pretty basic.
Mhm.
We're hoping that the 2 people can come to
Right.
good terms and resolve.
Instead of saying this is, just say step 1 is an informal process. in an attempt to remedy a grievance.
You said process. Okay. Wait,
Mhm.
what did you say?
Yeah. Step 1 is an informal process.
In an attempt to remedy
Agreements.
a grievance. Okay. So bottom line is, all of them are grievances.
Mm-hmm.
But step 1 is the basicest, which isn't even a word, but we can make it a word.
Yeah,
Maybe
if I
that
have,
works,
if I
that's
have a
alright.
problem with Sierra, I'm gonna go talk to her and see if we can get it resolved.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
then you move on from there.
Yeah.
So step 2,
Real quick, would it be better if I pulled up that admin?
if you what?
Did you want me to pull up the admin one real quick?
That's fine.
Oh,
Because I honestly think we were
that's where we stopped.
to the yellow,
Mhm.
which, and I had copied what Megan had said over to this policy. I don't remember what was on the rest of it because we hadn't gotten all the way through it, but
Mhm.
we'll just keep going. Okay, so did we have anything, did this flow and seem right, these 2 paragraphs?
I read them and I thought they looked fine.
Okay. If the grievance alleges a violation of Title 9, Title 2, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act or sexual harassment, the building administration shall turn the grievance over to the Title 9 coordinator. That's the name, what is it called?
So on the Title II and the Section 504, that actually goes over to Kelsey. So you might want to change, instead of change over to the Title IX coordinator, you might want to say turn over to the appropriate administrator in charge of those sections. I don't know.
Okay, so, hold on. Well, let's read it even though it's wrong.
Okay.
So if the grievance alleges a violation of Title 9, Title 2, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act or sexual harassment, building administration shall turn the grievance over to the Title 9 coordinator, who shall investigate the grievance. An investigation will be completed and the report will be filed with the superintendent within 30 working days after receipt of the grievance. The Title 9 coordinator may hire an outside investigator if necessary. If the superintendent agrees with the recommendation within the report, the recommendation will be implemented. If the superintendent rejects the recommendation and or either party is not satisfied with the recommendations from the report, either party may make a written appeal within 15 working days of receiving the report to the Board of Trustees for a hearing. This should actually just be board because we did that there. Okay, so Title IX and sexual harassment go to the Title IX coordinator?
Mhm.
Okay, so then let's just so that I don't lose it. Okay, so if a grievance alleges a violation of Title IX or sexual harassment, then the building administration shall turn the grievance over to the Title IX coordinator, who shall investigate the grievance, correct?
Correct.
Okay. An investigation will be completed and the report will be filed with the superintendent within 30 days. So is the rest of that paragraph correct?
So, the thing is does that timeline line up with the Title IX investigation? So I would put language in there that a report will be filed per the investigation procedure in the Title IX policy.
Okay. What policy is that one? Because that's like a 40-page document.
It is.
It's really long.
Took us
Hey,
a long time to
we
get
got
through
it down
it.
from like 120 pages.
We did.
What?
Yeah.
And then administration changed at the federal level.
Mm.
Yep, and then they reverted back to, what,
Mhm.
2020? So, yeah.
So I have the Title IX page, and that's where the policy, I also have it there, so.
What's the policy number?
It is, policy 3085.
Okay, we should really retitle this to Title IX instead of just that. Okay.
It's on the agenda for.
Okay.
So.
Perfect. Okay, so. All right.
And so
It's the procedures.
The procedures
that
is where the
have-
timeline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I would say probably in your grievance, uniform grievance, just say, timeline for Title IX complaints will follow the 3085 procedure,
That's a
something
good way to
like
make
that.
it.
Completed and our report will be filed with the superintendent.
In accordance with the.
Mhm.
Thank you. What is it called? Title IX.
And I love the fact you put,
Oopsies.
the Title IX coordinator may hire an outside investigator if necessary, because we could get some very big ones.
Yeah, okay.
That's all I've ever done.
Yeah.
Now, what is handled differently with a Title II or, okay,
Just a different person.
Mm-hmm, it's a different.
but is
person.
it the same process? I mean, are we still following?
No, so they can still go within your timeline.
Okay.
Here.
Um, who shall investigate a grievance? An investigation will be completed and the report will be filed with the superintendent. Oh, actually, I could just do that, couldn't I? Because we will know it's there, then I can just take it out of here. Okay.
And then.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
Now, would Kelsey or whoever the federal programs director ever need to hire outside help?
No.
Okay.
But then you said if the superintendent agrees with the recommendation within the report, the recommendation must be implemented if the superintendent. So all of that would go to Kelsey. Mine is all gonna be,
Whatever the procedure is.
yeah, 3085P.
Okay. All right. So, if the grievance alleges a violation of Title IX or sexual harassment, then the building administration shall turn the grievance over to the Title IX coordinator who shall investigate the grievance. An investigation will be completed, that's pretty redundant. An investigation will be completed and the report will be filed with the superintendent in accordance with the procedures set forth in policy 3085P Title IX sexual harassment procedure, requirements, and definitions. The Title IX coordinator may hire an outside investigator if necessary. If the grievance alleges a violation of Title II or Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, then the building administration shall turn the grievance over to the federal programs director, who shall investigate the grievance. An investigation will be completed and the report, okay, that's just driving me crazy.
So up above, you can probably get rid of,
Right.
an investigation will be completed. Where it says Title IX coordinator who will investigate the grievance, and then just say, and report the findings to, because you've changed the formatting of that because of the procedures in that other policy.
Okay, so let's go back up here because this one is driving me nuts too. So, shall turn, who shall investigate the grievance.
And then you just combine that and say, and report the findings to the superintendent in accordance with the procedure.
Mhm.
And report. Okay.
To the.
And report the findings,
Is there a
thank you.
word? Yep.
To the superintendent in accordance with procedures. Okay, so we'll do the same now. This, okay, so.
Well, that one might not change because you're not referring to a
Investigate the
procedure in a
grievance.
different policy.
And report. Within 30 working days after receipt of the written grievance. Now, do you know if, I mean, to me, it's reasonable, but I don't know. Is 30 days sufficient for Kelsey to complete a report if it's a Title II or 504
And
violation?
see, that would be a Kelsey question.
Okay, so then, I'll highlight this. As a reminder to check with Kelsey Badger.
Just send her a comment.
Just send her
Oh,
a
there we
comment,
go.
yeah.
Just because everything goes out of the clerk's report, and I feel bad. Someone needs access to the draft, okay.
You can leave her as a commenter.
Yeah,
She'll still
okay.
be able to answer your
Okay.
question without changing anything.
Right, okay. Alright, so, so this is fine, oh, we can take this away, cause we know now that that is accurate. I thought that's what it was called, but I couldn't remember, so, okay, so we struck all that out. Step 3. Upon receipt of the request for review, the superintendent shall schedule a meeting with, okay, so I don't like how this starts. I think it should say the superintendent, or when the superintendent receives receipt of a request for review, the superintendent shall, we have to start it that way. I don't like this, I don't like this. Does that seem fair?
It's fine. If it makes you feel better, it
Yeah,
still
like
works.
I think it works either way, so
Yeah,
if you
it
don't like the
does.
way it works.
Still transitions either way. Mhm.
So then could you change that to say a meeting shall be scheduled with the third parties rather than having superintendent again?
To review. So when the superintendent receives a request to review a grievance, a meeting shall be scheduled with the necessary parties. The parties shall be afforded the opportunity to either dispute or concur with the building administration's recommendation. The superintendent shall decide the matter within 10 working days of the meeting and shall notify the parties in writing of the decision. Now, what I don't remember is I think the admin had a longer time on it.
Well, last night it was 10 days.
It was 10, maybe, did we have 5 days on there? I just remember looking at the
We
days
were-
going, why did they add more, but
Yeah, I think we went back and forth on it,
did we?
because there was even one that we had changed, and then we went back and were like, that was way too short of a time.
Just a day, give me
Well,
24
What do you do?
hours.
Go.
Yeah.
It's 10 days after the meeting's been held. It doesn't say how long they have to schedule the meeting. So it may take you a week or two to get a meeting together, and then after they've met, they have 10 days.
Mhm.
I mean, so it's not saying,
Right.
yeah. So it gives you a little bit of leeway to get a meeting together
Okay.
before you have to do the 10 days after the
Yeah,
meeting.
so you have to have the meeting and then you have
And
to.
then you have 10 days.
have
Then your
10
time
days to submit the
starts.
report.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so if either party is not satisfied with the decision of the superintendent, the board is the next avenue for appeal. A written appeal must be submitted to the board within 5 working days of receiving the superintendent's decision. The board is the policy-making body of the school, however, and appeals to that level must be based solely on whether or not policy has been violated. Any individual appealing a decision of the superintendent to the board bears the burden of proving a failure to follow board policy. The board cannot make decisions that address personnel matters and student discipline which are separately governed by Idaho Code and board policies and procedures. Okay, down here, she had under level 3. I recommend reiterating, okay, so that's what we did here with her
Mhm.
language. Okay,
Mhm.
that's right, alright, so, okay, this policy does not apply to personnel and student grievances as those matters may result in due process hearings. Oh, this is where we stopped,
Mhm.
because we were like, okay, it's all coming back to me now. The board, okay, so this policy does not apply to personnel and student grievances as those matters may result in due process hearings and decisions before the board. Nor does this process supersede any other policy or process addressing a more specific type of grievance. Which didn't we take that from up here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cause. Okay, where is it? Is that it? This blue one?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we were thinking, if I remember correctly, short and sweet, but I copied this and put it down here because we didn't want to be redundant and say the
Yep.
exact same thing again, but we wanted to give a reminder.
Hey, we told you this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So the board cannot make decisions that address personnel matters and student discipline, which are separately governed by Idaho Code of policies and procedures. Okay, so we don't need this here, correct? We can take it out? Everybody's okay with that? Go.
And this might be overkill, but there is a separate staff grievance policy, which is 5250.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you want to reference that anywhere on here, because I know there's been some confusion in the past between this
Uniform
grievance
and
and
staff grievances.
staff grievance policy.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to somehow reference that. And then when I looked at staff grievances, 5250, probably another one that we should probably review some point in time because it was last updated in 2011.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
still
And
new.
remember, we did go through some issues when we did
Mhm.
have it.
We did.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be addressed.
Yes.
Okay, so, yeah, sounds like a plan. Okay, let's, okay, so that will just, the staff grievances, oh, where did that?
So,
Oh,
question.
we mentioned up above.
Oh, no, there is no recommending policy cross-references on here, that's weird. Go ahead.
On the meeting with the superintendent,
Mhm.
should there be a time frame? Because you know the parents are gonna wanna know. I know that I would wanna know, like, how long, cause obviously people are emotional, if there's something going on like this, they're gonna wanna know, am I waiting 48 hours, am I waiting 3 weeks? Like, when do I need to call and follow up?
Okay, so let's go back up to here.
And maybe it's not necessary to have, I'm just thinking.
Alright, so the written decision is provided within 15 working
Mhm.
days of the receipt of the grievance. If they're not satisfied, then they make a request within 5 working days of receiving the building administration's decision. Okay, so then
Right there when the
Right.
superintendent receives it.
to review, a
10
meeting
days.
shall be scheduled with the necessary parties.
So none of those meetings have a specific timeline as far as
Mhm.
when they have to happen, it's just how long.
Within 10, is that sufficient, is that too much time? 5,
Oh.
tomorrow, you know?
It's hard, it's
30.
so
So
hard
hard
to get
'cause
all those
when
people together.
Getting all the right
Yeah.
people
Right,
together and
right.
scheduling, yeah.
So
it
is
can be
10
tricky.
sufficient,
I-
or,
I would say 10 is fair.
okay?
I would say too.
I think anything less than that, you might be pushing it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, they'll probably do it within the week, but there will be some circumstances where that's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Or there may be.
so a meeting will be scheduled in 10 working days. Then the parties have the opportunity to dispute or concur, which doesn't make any sense because we've come to this level, so obviously there's
They're
agreed.
disputing it.
Yeah.
Maybe they can talk them through it and change their
To,
minds. See it from a
Sound
different
board's
perspective,
help.
yeah.
Recommendation. The superintendent shall decide the matter within 10 working days of the meeting and shall notify the parties in writing of the decision. So basically, it's 20 days.
20 days,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, which seems reasonable. Okay, so. Alright, the board cannot make decisions that address personal matters and student discipline which are separately governed by Idaho code and board policies and procedures. When the board receives a written appeal of the decision of the superintendent, of a decision of the superintendent in which a person alleges a failure to follow board policy, the matter shall be placed on the agenda of the board for consideration not later than their next regularly scheduled meeting. The board has the sole discretion in determining how to handle the grievance review, including but not limited to the option of solely reviewing the written record and making a determination or seeking to speak with both sides of the grievance during a properly noticed meeting of the board. Okay. A decision shall be made and reported in writing to all parties within 30 working days of the board's review. The decision of the board will be final.
And then I saw Megan had a recommendation for step 4 as well.
It is worth reiterating that the board will follow all open meeting laws in the consideration of the complaint. Okay. Okey-doke. Okay, Norris. Is that all she said? think sometimes less is more. I don't know. What else? I mean,
And reviewing the grievance. I don't know.
to
The review process, I don't know.
okay.
That's good enough.
Simple.
Now, we do need to put, cause I know that it's been changed, but there needs to be cross-references added on here. We need the 3085, identified 3085P, 3085 and 3085P.
The 5250 staff grievances.
Yes, we should have that one on there too as well. What was that, 5052?
5250.
5250, okay. So we need to identify these policies on here. I don't remember what it got changed to, cause I know the policy, or the formatting's been revised. So, I'm just putting those there so you know to jot the title of the policies down. And then there should be, isn't there statute? I just don't understand why it's not here.
I have statute. Here.
I'm just gonna note statute reference, and then you can make sure to put the statutory references on there. Okay, so, I'm gonna go ahead and take. Cause I think we hit, okay. Okay. Oh, policy 4150. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So should we read through it again, or does everyone seem to have a good bearing on this policy?
I think you guys got it.
Thank God.
Okay. So the form.
Yeah, I just had 2 changes or recommendation for changes.
Oh, then we go into search and seizure. We just did that.
I
We didn't
know,
finish
I
it.
brought that up. I mean,
No, we haven't ever finished
We
it.
were
The
doing
changes
it-
didn't happen. Because it
What?
had to go to Megan.
It had to
Let's
go
go
to
Megan, she just in the
We were
back.
working on it this time last year.
It never was implemented. We've had this, that's part of my persistence with what's this happening, where we at, cause it's, all the changes we made are not reflected in what's in there, so some of what we talked about, we're like, are we doing this, are we not? Are we using a wand, are we not?
But that's
Because-
ridiculous.
Well, we asked for it to go to Megan, and it got stuck.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's just not how it should be.
We'll get it right this year.
All right, grievance to be addressed. If the complaint pertains to sexual harassment or sexual misconduct, the concern should be remanded to the Title IX coordinator to address in accordance with policy 3085. Okay. But we don't say anything about Title II or 506.
That's what I was just gonna ask.
Which again, okay.
Copy and paste that paragraph and just change the.
Since this
Yep.
is a brand new form, it's just a really, really, really basic.
Okay. The complaint pertains to, Title II or,
Section 504.
gonna put the words over here. Whatever we have, oh, words down here, red, isn't it?
I don't even think you have to put the red on there, cause like you said, it didn't exist until once we finish it, then it'll exist.
The cool thing though for me with the red is I know that I actually did that.
Gotcha.
Because nothing's more irritating than going, did I? Didn't I? I don't remember. And then, yeah, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. What? Oh, that's because it's the keyboard, not the operator. Okay, if the complaint pertains
Give
to
that title
to-
9 on the second line again.
concern should be added to the,
Federal programs director.
yes, ma'am.
Just give more to her, less to me.
That's where
Director to address in accordance with,
To address accordingly.
we don't have any policies about it, we're just.
There's,
Well, and there's
there's
several.
there's various
There's,
policies,
yeah, you've
yeah.
got section 5 and 4,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's just a.
Yeah.
two.
Mhm.
So we have name, date, mailing address, phone number, subject.
Kelsey Rogers says
So,
30 days is perfect on the other one.
Okay, so on the subject, if we, I have here something that would say nature of grievance, and then check all that apply. I have like
checkboxes.
violation of board policy, violation of state or federal law, violation of constitutional rights, or other. Please explain. But
Look at that, I can't even spell. Okay, yes, I did mean that, thank you very much. Alright, so nature of grievance, and why is,
Because Google Docs doesn't have the tab over it.
there, nature of grievance. Okay, and then you had checkboxes?
yeah,
Yep.
violation of board policy was the
So
first
I'm just
one.
gonna do this. Oops. Gotta do it. What's the next one?
Next one is violation of state or federal law. Violation of constitutional rights, state or federal law, oh, okay. And then violation of constitutional rights. And then other, explain.
Wow, that's
There's
a
gonna be a
lot.
lot of others.
Yeah.
I don't like the person.
And they checked other, they don't have that.
And then below that, it basically says, describe the grievance in detail, include dates, individuals involved, and specific actions or events. Attach additional pages if needed, but
Describe the
grievance
grievance.
in detail.
Am I spelling it right
A
again?
and C.
I am, okay.
Mhm.
A grievance in detail.
Include dates,
Include dates,
individuals involved,
times. Yeah, I was right. Okay.
and specific actions or events. And if they need additional room, they can attach to, additional pages.
Just please attach additional pages.
Thank
As
you.
needed. Mhm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, below that.
Summary of the grievance?
So,
What
yeah,
were you thinking we
that's-
wanted to accomplish there? Cause Sarah drafted this, so
Yeah.
just.
So it was the subject, and then that would basically be
the same thing, the two.
the same thing that
So
you
you
guys
can
just did.
cross
Okay.
that
Yeah.
off. And then we had here, I had two things, actually. Steps taken for informal resolution, and basically it says, the persons that were initially contacted, the dates, and what was the summary of the informal discussion.
Okay.
And results, so.
Okay.
This is their written record of what's already happened.
Yeah.
Right, so, here's what I think we can do on this.
Mhm.
Ms. Brook, is, so basically page 1 is what's your beef?
Mhm.
Page 2 is step 1.
Mhm.
And so we're gonna have a page of that, and then step 2 would be what, the building administrators would need to fill out if it got to that point. And then
Mhm.
page, so that's 1, 2,
So
3.
do the-
Page 4 is step 3, the superintendent's page.
Mhm.
So, would you feel comfortable in just drafting that for this?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
I can do that. And then, we want also on here requested resolution. Describe the specific remedy or action you are requesting.
That would be under those step 1, or step 2.
Okay.
Cause that would be part of when they take it up to building administration. Then we're getting into the nitty gritty of, okay, you didn't like what you
The
and.
informal.
The informal didn't go well and you don't like the answer from the principal.
What do you want?
Right,
What do you want?
right.
Mhm.
So that would be part of step 2 and step 3, because they still need to tell the superintendent if they're gonna go push it up the line, well, this is what I want, even though it's what I said here, we still need to tell the superintendent again.
Okay.
Because I think most building administrators are gonna do what they can to try and accommodate whatever occurred and needs to happen, but maybe they're just not using the right words, I don't know.
Okay. I can build a form for each step.
Perfect, because in that way, it's got all the components
Mhm.
that, you know, that's a great idea. Yeah, Sierra was tasked with just coming up with something.
Create
Right.
something.
To work with. Thank you, Sarah.
So.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it was just like, I don't know, this is close. You guys can rip it apart after.
So, and then we can just, you know, do the check boxes with that, which will take up some space, you know, so it'll be good. Because on this one, I mean, the grievance to be addressed, yeah, I guess that would be, because we've already gone through step 1 for this, which is fine. Okay, perfect. Anything else?
No.
Okay, so, and then once that gets drafted, it would go out for survey.
Do you wanna see the form before it goes out for survey? So the form come back to you guys next week?
Well, my goal is that we're not meeting next week or the week after that.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring it up at the board meeting, just if we took Christmas break off. I know some people would appreciate it.
You might have a real quiet room if you don't, but you know.
So, are you okay with me drafting the form without you guys reviewing it first, or? Yeah.
Well, I don't think
Well,
the
if it's gonna go out
form
for
goes
survey,
out
it's
for
gonna-
survey.
yeah.
Okay.
But just the policy goes out.
Okay, okay.
And then the form could come back to the committee.
Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and send out the policy, but not the form, and then I will work on the form.
Perfect.
When
Thank
the
you.
survey results come back, you'll have the form ready and you can all see how it looks.
Yeah.
It's like lovely. Okay, but yeah, I think if we did that to where this was a 4-page document, I think that would help everybody that's in the process if it goes from step 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And then we have a complete packet. And there could even be a page, is that, did I say 4 pages or 5? Anyway, there could even be a page for the board's decision if, you know.
Okay.
And you could just title the page step 2.
Yes.
You know, so that it's
Yeah.
user friendly.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay? Alright. So let's annex that, and then we will go to search and seizure.
Michelle, are you okay if I'm excused, or do you want me to stay with you?
What will I do without you? You're free to come and go as you please, this is a committee.
All right, thank you.
As is everybody in the room except for Sierra.
Except for Sierra. All right, now I have pepper
There we
peppers
go.
that's been waiting for me, and
Okay, so I am, okay, Megan's suggestions are down here. Okay, okay, so let's read her, cause,
Mhm.
yeah.
Cause that was our hiccup. It went to you guys, just to kind of, it went all the way out to survey and came to the board.
Right,
And Ramona wanted input from Megan.
okay,
So we sent it out to Megan, and it took a real long time to get it back from her.
okay.
Cause asked a couple, where are we at with this, where's it in? It took a little bit of digging and then, yeah. We had some change in staffing and all those things in the mix that,
I'm so sorry.
that's okay.
No, because this is a big deal.
Yeah, well, Josh and I talked a lot about it, like what are we doing and what is our practice if our policy hasn't changed, and so.
Yeah,
he's-
okay.
Yeah.
So I recommend cross-referencing the student extracurricular policy 3400 in this policy. I also do not see 3370 or 3400 anything about attendance at extracurricular events, such as school dance. Most schools require breathalyzers before entering the dance. It is strongly recommended to ensure that any such conditions be in policy, as well as printed on the ticket, to ensure that the student does, that is a great idea. Do we put it?
Mhm.
Okay,
That
we
part
do-
is, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I've seen it on them. Like I
We hope
hopefully
it's there, we hope it's there.
But no, I know it's been there, whether
Okay.
it's done every time, because it's not a policy thing, but I
Right.
do know consistently that information is.
Practiced. Okay. To ensure that the student does not have an expectation of privacy related to the breathalyzer upon entering an extracurricular dance. Consider revising this sentence for clarity. If the dog alerts on a particular item or place, the person having the use of bringing onto or responsible for that place or item will be called to the scene to witness the inspection. I think we need a comma or 4 in that paragraph. The first sentence is not justified. The board may also want to cite to the current U.S. Supreme Court precedents regarding search and seizure for extracurricular activities. Okay.
I have another meeting at 6:30. Thank you, guys.
Uh-huh. All right, let's go back through this. So the board is committed to providing students with schools that are free of drugs and weapons. It's always a good goal. The board prohibits the presence of drugs, controlled substances, weapons of any type, explosive devices, alcohol, non-authorized medication, or any other intoxicant on district property or at district-sponsored events, or at any district-sponsored event. This prohibition applies to employees, students, patrons, visitors, and any other persons on district property. Notice of this policy shall be provided to all students through the Lakeland Joint School District 272 Student Handbook. Don't we go to just LJSD? We flip back and forth. Can we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That's probably how I see it more than anything, is the JT period, I'm like, oh.
I hate that. It's like, what are we saying? Through the LJSD 272 Student Handbook. And shall be provided to all parents during the registration process. So they have to sign off on this. They have to checkbox it.
That's the
It's
intent, you know,
supposed to.
it was something that, it is, again,
Oh, you're right. This isn't in
it hasn't
place,
happened
but
yet because it's not in place,
Right.
it will once we get there.
Okay. Order and security in schools shall be maintained by school authorities. Searches of school property and equipment and students and their personal effects are authorized to be conducted based on reasonable suspicion that a search will produce evidence of a violation of district policy, state, or federal law. Searches must be reasonably related to the circumstances, not excessively intrusive, and consideration shall be given to the age and sex of the student along with the nature of the infraction shall be considered.
That seems redundant.
It seems
Shall be considered, I don't think it
wordy.
needs to be there. So
Searches
just say
must-
consideration shall be given, and then shall be considered, I feel like that's redundant. But I
Okay,
could
so,
be wrong.
and consideration shall be given to the age and sex of the student along with the nature of the infraction, period. All students are responsible for the security of any personal vehicle, assigned locker, desk, bag, or other item they possess, are entrusted with, or bring onto district property, including buses, or to a district-sponsored event. No student shall possess, place, keep, or maintain any article or material that is prohibited by law or district policy in items, lockers, vehicles, desks, or bags assigned to them or under their control. Was that what she was talking about?
No, because that's down where the dog's
Okay,
alert that
where's
she's.
the dog
Yep.
thing? Okay. refusal to cooperate with the search may result in disciplinary action, including but not limited to suspension, expulsion, and/or loss of parking privileges on district property for students, period. All right. For health and safety reasons, a general inspection of school properties, such as lockers and desks, may be conducted at any time or when reasonable suspicion suggests that the search will disclose evidence of illegal possession of contraband or criminal activity. Building administration, armed district safety specialists, or school resource officers may inspect and search school property and equipment, as well as personal effects left by students without notice or consent of the student. Lockers are only assigned to one student. In the event a student chooses to share their locker with another student, then the student to whom the locker was assigned shall be responsible for its contents. All vehicles parked on district property shall be considered in the custody and control of the student driver and subject to search if there is cause to suspect that district policies have been violated. Building administration may request the assistance of law enforcement and/or law enforcement canines, or canine, to conduct inspections and searches of lockers, desks, parking lots, or other school property and equipment, including buses, for illegal drugs, weapons, or other illegal or dangerous substances or materials. In conjunction with other district security measures, a canine may be used on district property or at a district-sponsored event. An alert, which is determined by the canine's handler, constitutes reasonable suspicion. After the canine alerts on a canine alert, which is determined by the canine's handler, constitutes reasonable suspicion. After the canine alerts on a particular item or place, the person or persons in question will be called to the scene to witness the inspection. In the event the canine alerts on a locked vehicle, the owner or person bringing the vehicle onto district property shall be asked to open it for inspection. The student's constitutional rights, as applicable under the specific circumstances, will be protected. Building administration, ADSSs, and SROs may utilize a breathalyzer in the event there is cause to believe that a student is under the influence of alcohol. Building administration, ADSSs, and SROs may utilize metal detection wands prior to conducting a physical search of a student. In the event a physical search is necessary, then a physical search shall not be conducted without at least one adult of the student's gender present. Whenever practical, a second adult shall also be present, and efforts will be made to provide a second adult of the student's gender. I think this needs to say biological.
I was just thinking that.
Logical gender present, student's biological gender. Also be read that second adult of the students. Go ahead.
Just at the very top when it says, that may utilize metal detection wands prior to conducting a physical search.
Okay.
I don't know that we need to have the word prior in there. Could be while conducting, because it all, like, sometimes we have kids in and we ask and they just willingly empty their pockets, and to me that's a physical search. We're asking what's on their person, what's in your pockets, and we don't even need the wand because it produces.
Well, I guess maybe we need to determine what a physical search is, because to
Right.
me a physical search is a pat down.
Yeah.
If you're
Mhm.
patting that student down to look for something and then wanding, the way I interpret that
Okay.
is you're gonna wand them and then there's a beep beep on the pocket and you
Mhm.
might do this.
Gotcha.
That
Okay,
to
so
me
as
is a
long as,
physical
does that make
search.
sense? Like, we oftentimes will ask students, like, what is
Well-
in your pockets, what's in your, and they
Mhm.
physically, willingly, if they're,
Willingly.
if they're not willing, then you would, so I guess that would.
But I wouldn't consider that a search.
Okay.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Perfect, as long
Yeah.
as we agree and that's where we're comfortable, I just wanna know that's usually our practice. I wanna make sure it's in line with what this says and how you guys see
Well,
it.
if that's your practice, then I mean, I guess.
Because our goal is for them to have honest behavior.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Like, let's
absolutely.
just be honest, tell us what you have, what it
Mhm.
is,
Right.
whatever, this is what we heard, this is what we saw, this is the vape detectors went off, whatever.
Right.
Tell us why this might have happened, show us, and in a lot of cases, if they don't have anything to hide, they're
Mhm.
willing, and they,
Right.
yeah,
But I would think because the non-invasive approach is the wand,
for sure.
if the
Okay.
wand alerts, then there should be a pat down, I would think.
Perfect.
Because
That
I don't
makes-
think anybody's gonna be unzipping jackets and going into pockets, I think we're
Yeah.
doing what
We're asking
police
kids to do that, we don't physically
Right.
touch them when they do that, so.
Right,
Perfect,
okay.
that makes sense.
And you understand that,
Mhm.
too, right?
That's how,
Okay.
perfect.
All right, so, building administration, ADSSs and SROs may utilize metal detection wands prior to conducting a physical search of a student. In the event a physical search is necessary, then a physical search shall not be conducted without at least one adult of the student's biological gender present. Whenever practical, a second adult shall also be present, and efforts will be made to provide a second adult of the student's biological gender. If a district produces evidence that the student has violated or is violating the law or the district policies or rules, such evidence may be seized and impounded by the school authorities. And disciplinary action may be taken. When appropriate, such evidence may be transferred to law enforcement authorities. Okay, so I recommend cross-referencing the student's extracurricular policy. I also do not see 33.
What,
Okay.
okay, what are 3370 and 3400, we know?
I don't know. So 30.
3400.
Remember those numbers. 'Cause
Got it.
I won't.
370 and 34 what?
Okay, so 3370 is searches and seizures.
So what policy we're on?
3400,
Is extracurricular.
maybe it's 3380. What did she say?
She didn't, she said 3400, that's why I was like, and then 3370.
So 3400 is extracurricular activities drug testing. I wonder if she meant 3380
I don't know, Angela.
or
it's in there.
3410.
3410 would.
Alright,
And that's
school
dances and all
sponsored
those
student
things.
activities. All student organizations must be approved. Social events must have prior approval. Social events must be held in school facilities. Attendance at high school social events and dances shall be limited to high school students. Middle school students, okay. Extracurricular activities. I would think we could identify this on there.
Mhm.
Okay, and then
So if we go back-
3370 is searches and seizures.
Which is the policy we're working in.
Oh, is it?
That's why I'm confused, is that not what we're working in, so why are we cross-referencing the current policy that we're?
Well, she's recommending cross-referencing the student extracurricular policy. 3370 or 34. I don't know. Alright, so what might she have meant?
If you go to 3400, it's extracurricular activities.
Drug testing.
Will you open that one for me, the
Which?
3400, the extracurricular, just,
Drug, alcohol testing for students and activities. That's just the random.
that's the fact that we do a random drug testing of our student athletes, that's not anything to do with the fact that we're gonna breathalyze kids coming into a dance. So I don't know that that applies. Other than if you go down to the scope and keep reading there, but.
Well, we talk about reasonable concern, what that means. Scope. This is participation, and then there's a
Right.
consent form, non-punitive nature of policy.
Yeah, so this is all in reference to our student athletes
Yeah,
and our.
but I do think, 3410,
Mhm.
oh, we just looked at that one, didn't we?
That's when we,
Yeah, we
we
did.
added that one.
So 3410 needs to be listed.
I wonder if she's saying that because 3400 does not include dances, I don't think she realizes that's a totally separate thing, that 3400 has nothing to do with dances.
Right.
It's extra, not even extracurricular, might not be the right word.
Right.
You know, it's our athletic and co-curricular activities that references.
Well, we may want to reference 3340. What was that, 3340? Because, I mean, we're telling them, you know, something could happen if something occurs,
Mhm.
and you should go look at this policy. And maybe 3330.
Yeah, because student discipline is obviously tied to that if,
Yeah.
depending on what you find.
Yeah, 3330. I just can't believe that they're not already listed. Okay.
And then she makes reference to
That any conditions be in policy.
and
Ensure that the
So
student-
basically, she's reinforcing that the question that Ramona asked,
Yeah.
she's answering there, yes, this is actually what most schools do, it's what's recommended. Breathalyzing at dances is common
Mhm.
practice and the right thing, you know, which.
Right, the person having the use of bringing onto or reasonable for that place or item will be called, okay, the first sentence is not justified.
If it alerts
Alright,
on a
so-
particular item or place.
If a dog alerts, let's go back up there. In the event,
You're still up higher than that.
no, it's right here, but let's read this paragraph. So in conjunction with district security measures, a canine may be used on district property or at district-sponsored event. A canine alert, which is determined by the handler, constitutes reasonable suspicion. After the canine alerts on a particular item or place, the person or persons in question will be called to the scene to witness the inspection. So having the use of bringing onto district property or responsible for that place or item. So we struck that out.
We did, that's when like, we already changed it, so.
Will be called to the scene to witness the inspection.
After canine alerts.
So she's saying there's no justification? The first sentence is not justified. Yes, it is. Just like, it is justified, I think, but maybe I'm reading this wrong. Because
Why would it not be justified
I don't know.
in conjunction with other
'Cause-
district security measures? Canine may be used on district property or at a district sponsored event. Just that sentence?
That's what she's saying, but it says, okay, so a canine alert, which is determined by the handler, constitutes reasonable suspicion. So after the alert, after the canine alerts, maybe you should say if the canine alerts on a particular item or place, maybe that's what it is. If the canine alerts on a particular item or place, the person or persons in question will be called to the scene to witness the inspection. Oh, so I guess, so if the canine alerts, I don't know if that's needed. Because the reality is, what is the canine gonna alert on? A desk, a locker, a car,
Backpack,
a backpack?
coat, whatever, yeah.
Right, so maybe it shouldn't be if, it should be when the canine alerts the person or persons in question. Okay, so maybe that's where we gotta go with it. When a canine alerts, comma, I'm gonna strike this. The person or persons in question will be called to the scene to witness the inspection of the item or place the canine alerted to. Does that make better, clear sense? So, a canine alert, which is determined by the canine's handler, constitutes reasonable suspicion. When a canine alerts, the person or persons in question will be
So there's-
called to the scene to witness the inspection of the item or place the canine alerted to.
My clarifying question is the person or persons in question. Like,
Yeah, how do we know?
they were, the person or persons, like, yeah, like, it were, whom the item belongs to, whom, like,
Maybe. What if we said the individual or individuals will be called to the scene? Or
those associated with the item or location will be brought to the scene to witness, or brought to the location to witness.
Okay, what was that? What did you just say? Forget the person. I just didn't wanna lose my red marker. Alerts.
The person or people in question, the person.
Person or people
Any person
associated. Individuals.
Because the reality is, I mean, that's, it should be any, not and.
Individuals will be brought to the item or location prior to the search.
suspected individual. Because if okay, so if it alerts on a backpack, but we don't know whose backpack it is, but we think it's Susie's,
Mhm.
so we're gonna call Susie down. She is a suspected individual, but she's not actually the owner of the backpack because it's not Susie's backpack, it's Maria's. So, basically, the school's gonna do its due diligence to try and get the person that's the locker owner or the backpack owner or the car owner.
Mhm.
They're gonna do their due diligence, but we can't always say that it's gonna be right. I
Mhm.
mean, we would think it is, but it might not be. So,
Well, that clears it up though, any person or suspected individual or individuals.
or should it say when a canine alerts the suspected individual or individuals instead of any person?
either remove
Okay.
it.
Mhm.
Or we could say any
Suspected.
suspect. I stutter now. Okay, any suspected individual will be called to the scene to witness the inspection of the item or place the canine alerted to.
Mhm.
Okay, cause yeah, we can't accuse people until we know for facts.
Right.
So.
You're in question, but the question is, does this belong to you?
Yeah.
Right, exactly, cause
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
how many black backpacks could there possibly
Mhm.
be?
Right.
Mhm.
How many kids we have there? 700?
Yeah, no, not very many.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I know every kid's backpack just by sight, yeah.
Mhm. Right. Okay, so when a canine alerts any suspected individual or individuals will be called to the scene to witness the inspection of the item or place the canine alerted to. So I don't think we have to justify anything in that sentence. We're just basically saying, look, if something is alerted, we're
We're
gonna
gonna
call
do-
down who we
mhm.
think it is and have a conversation. And you can watch.
Right.
Now, if it's the wrong person, is that an issue?
Well, no, cause you're just saying, is this your backpack?
Okay, yeah. And they can say yay or nay. Okay.
Mhm.
So I think we addressed that. The board may also want to say, okay, so I guess we've addressed her
Mhm.
questions. Okay. So to me, make that go away. The policy's done.
Mhm. It's already been out to survey.
Right.
It went to the board, and the board's the one that wanted clarification from Megan.
Okay.
That's where that,
So then-
we could take it probably back to the board, in my opinion, because we changed very little.
Right, well, no, we've got a lot of red in there. We've got
But
some
all that red all went to the board at once.
Gotcha.
Like this is
Okay.
all
Okay.
been brought to the board,
All right. So yeah, it should go back to the board.
if that makes sense. Yes, there's a lot of red, but they saw the red and then said, wait a minute, we're not gonna approve this yet. We want Megan's opinion first.
Right. Okay. Yay, so moving on. I like when we can move on. School-sponsored student activities.
That's all we're just looking at.
Okay. So did we already work through this one?
This is the
This is
same
another one.
thing, and we tried to send, it was all part of that same package that
Okay.
went to Megan.
Okay. Student organizations. All student organizations must be approved by administration. Bylaws and rules of student organizations must not be contrary to board policy or to administrative rules and regulations. Procedures in student organizations must follow generally accepted democratic practices in the acceptance of members and nomination and election of officers. Social events. Social events must have prior approval of the administration. Social events must be held in school facilities unless approved by the board. Social events must be chaperoned at all times. Attendance at middle school social events shall be limited to district-enrolled middle school students unless prior permission is received from the building administration. Attendance at high school social events and dances shall be limited to district-enrolled high school students unless prior admission is received from building administration. Guest patrons accompanying an LJSD enrolled student may not be older than 20. Extracurricular activities. Academic and behavior eligibility rules are established by Idaho High School Activities Association rules and district policy. Any student convicted of a criminal offense may, at the discretion of school officials, become ineligible for such a period of time as the school officials may decide. In establishing an interscholastic program, the board directs the administration to open all sports to all students enrolled in the district with an equal opportunity for participation. Recommend sports activities based on interest inventories completed by the students. So do we have interest inventories that students are completing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure. School privilege. Participation at any school-sponsored activity or event is a privilege. It is the intention of the board to ensure a safe environment for all students participating in school-sponsored student activities. Breathalyzer testing may be a requirement at any school-sponsored organized event. At any.
Yeah, feels redundant.
Mm-hmm.
At, okay, so at any school-sponsored event, where am I at? Here we go. Or activity, any social event, or any extracurricular activity. I think, cause I think it's relating to student organizations, so I think the organized, at any organized school-sponsored events is what I was going to do. Because if FFA wants to hold an event, okay, it's an organized school-sponsored event, but it's not put on by the school, it's not put on by the district. Or a club-sponsored event. That's what I think this is. We were trying to basically hit all of the things.
Different components, right?
Yeah. And the only thing that I'm,
But even that, FFA, all of those things are school-sponsored activities. Like, we have to put our stamp on, we approve every club. You know, our FFA and FCCLA are part of our co-curricular, extracurricular programs.
all clubs that go on are school-sponsored
Right.
clubs.
Right, that's what I'm saying, I think school-sponsored covers all of those entities. Cause they're either a school-sponsored.
What do you think?
I think it covers all.
Yeah, I'm not well versed enough in all of this, but it sounds like it's umbrellaed under it, so it should cover everything.
Okay, so any school-sponsored event or activity, any social event or any extracurricular activity. Students who refuse a breathalyzer test will be denied admittance and their parents will be notified. Alright, under item 3B, I recommend broadening this to any student convicted of a criminal offense or found to have violated board policy may, okay, so she's saying at this part. Okay, so any student convicted of a criminal offense or found to have violated board policy or any other district rule or standard may, at the discretion of school officials, become ineligible. Okay. The formatting for the online permission does not align a straight margin. Thank you for that. Under section 3, I think it is also worth reiterating that participation in extracurricular activities is not a property right, but is a privilege and subject to a higher standard of participation. Ooh, and she cites
I
code.
love that.
Always love that.
Not only
Okay.
do we, this is a good
Under
idea, we
section
can tell you
3.
why.
Wait. Oh, okay,
Section
that's right,
3.
yeah. So. Alright, so
Participation with the district or something too.
I think it should go that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good.
Participation in extracurricular activities is not a property right, but is a privilege and subject to higher standards for participation. And then we will, I don't know if we wanna leave that there, but we definitely want to, is that it?
Yep, it's already there.
512, nope, she's got 513. Or that was on the policy, I guess. I wonder if that was supposed to have, what is 513? Does Michelle know how to do this? No, she does not. 33, 513, professional personnel. Oh. Okay, so whoever put that there
It's
is
just the wrong reference.
Wrong reference, yep.
All the reasons we do these things.
Right. To supervise and regulate, okay, shall not be considered to be a property, liberty, or contract right. Oh, I think we need to include that language too. All right. Okay.
Your A needs to tab back over.
I know, but it did it on its own.
I know, so it makes it messy.
Is that aligned?
Looks
I think
good
it
from
is.
this angle.
Whoop, it's a little off. Wait, no.
Make it pretty.
Is it? No, it is not. Well, a little bit. All right, so. Okay. There we go.
Nice.
I like this part too.
Mm-hmm. I thought that whole underlined part is well
The
written.
whole underlined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it's not a property, liberty, or contract right, but is a privilege.
Just start with such as.
You might even, yeah, put a period and start such as its new own sentence.
Such extracurricular activities shall not be deemed a necessary element of public school education but shall be considered to be a privilege. Oopsies.
Mhm.
Participation actually is not a property, liberty, or contract right.
I think you should take out, but as a privilege, subject to a higher standard for participation, and maybe add that,
Put the higher standard at the end of that one.
yeah, cause then you're saying privilege twice.
Yeah.
Participation in extracurricular activities is not a property, liberty, or contract
Right,
right.
period.
Period. It is a privilege.
As such.
It is a privilege. As such, extracurricular activities shall not be deemed a necessary element of a public school education and, shall be subject to higher standards for participation.
Yep.
All right, we're
And
late.
appears-
Period at the end of participation.
Thank
All the
you.
little things.
Thank you. All right, so
B
we're
can
now.
go away now, right?
Yes. Well, 'cause I just need there
Yeah.
just in case.
I knew, but I was like, now we're done with this, we can get rid of it.
All right, so we're ending at 7.